Everyone, this is Adriana Sachin from Aurora Sacred Healing. Those of you who've been following probably noticed that I've been busy making lots of different teas, making lots of videos today of the teas that I've been busy foraging all of these plants. Today I'm going to be working with like getting rid of a cold. If you feel like you're starting to get under the weather, this is a good cold remedy to scare off a cold and boost your immune system. So let's get started. But first of all, before we touch any of the plants, do a little smudge here of our space and sort of bring love into this center here. So today I'm going to smudge with some sage and to get rid of any negative energy. But to purify, I'm actually going to use in the smudge, one of the plants that we're going to be putting into our tea can be used in smudge for purification, bringing in positive energy. And that is plantain that you have literally growing probably out in your driveway, in your backyard. So I'm using the tops of the, can you see it there? The tops of the plantain, like with all the seeds on them there in the smudge. So let's light that smudge. Smudge bundle here. Get smoke going here. Let the sage clear out any kind of negative energy. We don't want to have that in our space. Clear my mind, body, spirit. And I ask the creator who's shared these plants with me and with those who help me with foraging and dehydrating everything. We always bring our good wishes into every step of this process, right up until it's sold to you or passed along to you. We ask that these plants honor our life of Minopimatasawin, the mantra of Aurora, where we try to live in balance and harmony with Mother Earth by living every day sacred. And even something is preparing a cup of medicinal tea is an excellent way to show our love. So those of you who saw one of my posts about the last wild expedition we went on by kayak, we went to an area where there was sweet flag called Flag Lake, actually, because it is found there. And that is Weegus. So you can see I sell it, just the Weegus. Its common name around here is rat root because the muskrats love to eat it. In fact, Richard, my partner, tells me that that's what the muskrats actually smell like this. So if you were to smell Weegus, usually in an area it grows, it's like a marsh plant. I can always smell Weegus before I actually see it. So it smells like very strong licorice. Kind of, that's a nice way to put it. It smells like Buckley's mixture. In fact, it's like a very strong Buckley's mixture. So you can see it is a root, and when you dry it, it is very hard. And I want to have it, I've dried it and put it into a powder. So because a lot of people find that when it's sold like this, you have to use like a cheese grater or a garlic grater to break the root down into smaller pieces for the tea. Now, hardcore people will just keep one of these little pieces of root in their pocket, and they'll just chew on it, to a little piece of it, to scare away anything trying to make them sick or clean their breath. That's a bit harsh. That's hardcore, and power to you. That's why I sell it like this. One woman has shared with me that she uses this for calming effects. lights a little one end of it, and just the smell kind of takes her back to, her grandmother making this tea for her when she was getting sick, and it just kind of calms her anxiety. So thank you for sharing that. I've never heard of Wegus being used like that, but it's all just demonstrating how these plants can be used in lots of different ways. So if you want to grind it into a powder, which makes it easier for, quickly having a cup of tea of it, make sure that you grind it first before you dry it. Otherwise, it will destroy your blender or your NutriBullet, whatever you're using. So this is going to be the base of our tea. And then basically the other medicines we're going to be pulling in are going to be trying to counteract very strong taste of Wegus, okay? Because we don't want to have total Buckley's mixtures here. So I am putting in half a cup. 1 cup is a bit harsh. Half a cup is even a lot. Like I said, a little bit. This is ground Wegus. So when it's ground up, just even a little bit is a lot, okay? So I'm going to start off with that. Now, the next 2 ingredients, those of you who watched my other videos about the spring and summer in the boreal, I talked about, this is one that is found in the summer. That is yarrow. Okay, so here I have, I've ground up the leaves just with my mortar and pestle and the flowers. So they're all kind of mixed up into here. And yarrow together with, this is plantain, are like nature's polysporin. So they are exceptionally good healers of multiple different things. So they're talking to like all of your organ systems. So these are very good general medicines for like any kind of health issue that's trying to take you down. Okay, so I'm going to put in some yarrow. Okay. And I'm going to put in some of the plantain. Now I have on the top here, I don't want those little smudge. I sort of stuck them on the top there, with the seeds in that. I'm kind of making a mess here, but that's okay. I know I'll be the one cleaning it up. I shouldn't have put those on the top. There we go. I want to get to the leaves. Okay. So plantain leaves. Just watch where you pick any of this stuff. So we already know that Wegus is in the marsh, which is probably going to be a clean area. Just watch out that there's no effluent coming, any kind of pollution. But you got to watch when you're doing things like plantain and yarrow, because plantain will grow right out in your driveway. Always try to pick from a natural source where, no civilization, no cars have been going over. They're not dirty, because I don't wash my plants. I try not to wash them before dehydrating, because sometimes that is counter effective. So I want to make sure that Mother Nature has already washed them with her rainwaters, etc. So I get plantain from the woods and not necessarily from the driveway or even ditches. If you're going to get it from a ditch, go beyond the ditch, like closer to the forest line. Okay. So let's put in our plantain. Okay, so there's the plantain. Now these other 2 here are used in other types of tea. I have some raspberry leaf here. So the young shoots of the raspberry, we talked about this before, are very good at circulation. So if the plantain, yarrow, and Wegus are going to be kind of pulling out what's trying to make you sick, the raspberry is going to help kind of move it along, transport it so your body can eliminate it. So let's put in some raspberry. And then the last one is kind of more, kind of talking more to your, maybe your lungs, kind of help with bringing in some more oxygenation to help with that circulation. And this is juniper berries. Okay. So juniper berries are similar to the Wegus. They're very, very aromatic. So even the tea itself can be used like for steaming, but it'll help with that oxygen exchange with the And so if you're feeling like a fever with sore muscles and such, this is juniper is really going to talk to that. Okay. So now we infuse the plants with our love. So let's charge up our hands. Bring into our heart and mind and body the love we have for Creator, for these plants, for ourselves, for all of creation, whoever we're going to be sharing these plants with, and we put that into the plants as we mix them up with love. And all my receptors are picking up on these powerful smells. In fact, the one that's very dominant is the weegus. I thought it would be the juniper, but it's not. The weegus is very strong. So less is definitely more when you're making this into a tea. I'll show you kind of what it looks like. So I'm making a massive mess. If you can see this here. You can see the light brown of the weegus, but then the nice blue seeds of the juniper really add or a nice contrast to all the green leaves of the plantain and raspberry, and then the white yarrow flowers. Very nice. So this is a very strong tea. So in your tea kits, I put in a little cloth bag and a little spoon. So maybe just start off with 1 scoop in the little cloth bag there, because the weegus, like I said, is very strong. And pour your hot water right in here. So right, from your kettle, pour it in here, and make sure you're being safe. Holding on to the glass is going to be extremely hot with a cloth. Put the lid on immediately after you poured the boiling water in. We want to seal all those essential oils from the plants inside of this mason jar. And then the longer you let this steep, the stronger the tea is going to be. So if you want it just as a general tonic, a little relaxing tea, because you find weegus relaxing, I don't necessarily. This is a tea I'm drinking for a purpose, kind of like plug your nose and drink it because it's scaring away the cold. But if you want a general tea, don't let it steep so long. But if you're really feeling sick and you want to scare that cold away, let this sit for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, heck, even 24 hours. Let it sit in here and get really strong. You can always dilute the tea with maybe a little more water and say a lemon wedge or some other juice to help get it down, and keep drinking that when you're feeling sick. That'll help scare your cold away and help your immune system and circulatory system to flush it out. So thank you for joining with me. Please like and subscribe these videos if you find this interesting, this information on how everything we need to heal ourselves is right here at our doorsteps. You just got to take a walk in the woods. Thank you for joining me. Remember to try to live a life of everyday sacred. Mino Pima Taswin. Ekose and Namaste.